how-to series from MasterCraft on the JK seating options. Hopefully all you JK owners with either 2 or 4-door models, after watching part 1, are back to see what we can do to the rear seat of your JK. Now, for 2-door models, there is one option, and that one option is a slip-over cover, which we're going to show you first. For 4-door models, there are 3 options. There's a slip-over cover, there is a 48-inch Sportsman bench seat, and the option to go ahead and put 2 bucket seats in the back. So you have 2 buckets in the front and 2 buckets in the rear. Now, all the seating options from MasterCraft are built alike. In other words, whether you're ordering online at mastercraftseats.com or from your local dealer, you're going to be able to match your front seats with your back seats. We picked a very simple black on black Baja RS for the front, and for the rear bench seat cover slip-on, it's going to have this same pattern to it. So why don't we go ahead and get started with that. Your first step on removing the rear seat, which is the easiest way to go ahead and get this slip-over cover on, is to go ahead and get your 18mm socket and remove all the front bolts. Once you've removed the front bolts, the rear seat will pivot forward so you can get to the rear bolts easy. Now, to make removal of the rear bench easy, especially if you're alone, the best thing to do is there's one piece here that attaches the split bench together. If you remove that, which takes a 13mm socket, it makes it a lot easier for you to just go ahead and pull one section out at a time and then get it onto your bench so you can start working on the cover. Okay, now that you've got the seats out of the vehicle, we're going to go ahead and work on the smaller section first. I flipped it upside down. Go ahead and identify the bottom piece for this. Go ahead and remove all the Velcro. Release it all, release the zippers. And go ahead. Start getting stuff snug. Go ahead and start marrying up the zippers and the Velcro. Make sure it's nice and snug, because that'll be the best way to get the best, tightest fit and look in your seat. Okay, so now that we're done at the bottom, we're going to go ahead and do the top. Go ahead and release all the Velcro and all the zippers. I put it on the floor because I think it's the easiest way to work with it. Go ahead and slip this over the top. Make sure that the headrest does poke through. And work down the fabric, just like that. Okay, so now we're under the rear bench. Same thing. You want to release all the Velcro and release all the zippers. Put the bottom on first, put the top on, and then finish up with the headrest. And when you're all done with that, we'll put it in the vehicle and show you how fantastic it looks with the Baja RS and the slip-over seat covers. And while I tighten this up, Ryan will go ahead and put the rest of the bolts in. Make sure that you bring your seat belt tab through from the seat to go ahead and bolt back into that mount. We've got a nut here, a couple bolts. We'll go ahead and do the 4 on the front and then show you what this looks like all finished up. This concludes part 2 of the how-to series of the MasterCraft JK seat options. Part 3, we're going to go ahead and remove this bench seat and we're going to put in MasterCraft custom brackets that they made specially for the 48-inch Sportsman bench, which also works that same bracketry for the putting 2 bucket seats in the rear, which we're going to cover in part 4. So we hope you enjoyed this. See you next time.